everyone. It's been a long time for a podcast episode. I've been so busy lately, but finally I found some time to record something, and I'm happy because today I'm not alone. So the last season I didn't have so much guests because I rather to be alone, which was like the opposite of the first season. But now, since it's season three, I decided to come back to having guests with me because it's more fun. And I have been waiting for this specific episode because I was supposed to post about it since the first season. And some of you also asked to know more about it, and you would know what is it exactly in the next few seconds. So yeah, today I'm going to talk with a friend of mine. She will be introducing herself soon, but I wanted to tell people that this specific topic kind of means a lot to me, and I really want to know more about it. So I'm so excited to know about it, and I hope you guys are interested to know what is the topic of today. So I'm not gonna make you wait longer. Today I have a guest with me. I want her to start by introducing herself, and I'm so happy that she's with me. So hi Mishket, and I hope I'm not bothering you today. I hope you're also happy to be with me. So yeah, welcome, and I hope you start by introducing yourself to people.
Hello. Thank you, Noor, for having me. This is such a pleasure. I've been seeing your podcast all over the place, like on social media, and I really love it. I love the idea. So I'm really happy to be here. So, my name is Mishket. I'm 23 and I'm a fifth year architecture student. I was done with like my studies last week. Now I just have to prepare for my final project. Um, I really love reading. I also write, and about writing, I am participating in a writing contest with a book about this topic. So like I hope people like the book I'm writing, and I also sing. So like I'm a singer and a writer, you can say, and a future architect. So that's it.
I'm so happy to have you here today. First of all, I want to tell you that I also follow your singing, your TikToks, and all of that, which is so interesting. About the book you're writing, I'm so happy for you, and I can't wait to read it. I have been writing my book since 2 years now, and I'm still progressing on this, so I know how beautiful it is, but at the same time, it's hard. So I wish you all the best when it comes to the book. And about your studies, also, I want to wish you the best of luck. I hope you will get it, and I know you will. So, good luck for that. Do you actually like your field of studies?
I really have a complicated relationship with architecture. Yeah, seriously. Because at first it wasn't my first or second choice. So I was there just because that's what I could do.
Yeah.
And then I grew to love it actually. I started really liking it. But then as I started struggling with my mental health, it did not help me at all. It just made things worse for
Yes.
me. And that's what created a tension between me and this field of study. So yeah.
I'm so sorry to know about this. At first, when you said I didn't like it at first, but then I liked it. I was like, "Yay! At least someone is liking something from our educational system." But then,
I mean, the educational system sucks, to be honest.
yeah,
Uh, like the only thing that I don't like about architecture is the educational system.
yeah, I think,
Other than that, it's really, really, really interesting.
yeah, I think so. I think so. Even when it comes to the English field, I was feeling the same. I've always told my teacher that I really like the field, but I don't like the exams, and I don't like the way we make exams. It just sucks. But otherwise, all what we have been taught is so interesting. So I can
Yeah,
feel the struggle.
yeah, exactly.
Yep. Anyway, let's go deep into our topic. So, guys, our topic today is about bipolarity, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard about it. If not, they know someone who has this specific like mental health problem. So today we have Mishket with us. She's gonna talk more about it. So, can you tell us what is bipolarity as a definition so that our listeners will have the big picture of today's topic?
Okay, so bipolar disorder is a mood disorder. It's not a personality disorder because people confuse this. Often they think that it's a personality disorder and that bipolar people have two personalities or several personalities sometimes. But no, it's a mood disorder, just like depression. Depression is also a mood disorder. Um, for bipolar disorder, it's basically having a problem when it comes to regulating the mood. So you're almost never like stable, you're almost too high or too down. So, like, that's what makes bipolar called also manic depression disorder. So, like, you're either manic or depressed most of the times. Um, Also, we have like two types in bipolar, bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. And the difference is for people with bipolar 1, they have a manic episode, and people with bipolar 2, they have a hypomanic episode, which is like a bit less intense. I know many people don't know what mania is, and I understand. So basically, mania is the exact opposite of depression. So depression is being really low, not having self-esteem, hating yourself, etc. Mania is basically the other extreme, being too high, too happy, euphoric, too energetic, having like thinking you're the best in the world, having like plans that normally you wouldn't have, taking risks, things like that. So basically, I think this is a quick definition of
Yeah,
bipolar disorder.
yeah, it is. It is. Thank you for that. Um, okay, so would you tell us more now about you? Like, when were you diagnosed with bipolarity, and why did you doubt that you're not okay or not feeling so well? Like, when did you start saying, well, I'm not okay. Mentally, this is not going well.
Actually, I was diagnosed September 2020, so like after the pandemic.
Okay.
Um, and I think the pandemic triggered something in me. Like, I think this happened to everyone basically.
Yeah.
uh, I just was going through ups and downs during the pandemic, but like I never thought that those ups and downs were not normal. I thought everyone was going through that, and I thought everyone had the same intensity as me. Uh, and then what made me start therapy in September and not before? I've always wanted to start therapy, but like my family wasn't really supportive when it comes to this.
Yeah, I
Um,
totally understand.
yeah. They were not supportive because like I started showing some weird signs at 16 and they wouldn't take me like to a therapist. So
Yeah,
like
they always think it's normal or we're just a drama
yeah,
queen, which
exactly.
is so upsetting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like at 21 I really wanted to start therapy, but I was really scared. I was like, what am I gonna talk about? What if like my problems are stupid? What if she thinks that I'm stupid? And then I really started having random anxiety attacks and like I couldn't sleep at night and it was getting more and more complicated. So I was like, this is time. And I started going to a psychotherapist at first, not a psychiatrist, because like I never thought I had a mental illness. I just thought that I needed like a therapist to talk to vent to,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
but I never thought that I have like a mental illness, and
Yeah.
especially a chronic mental illness. Like
I
I
guess you
never
thought you
thought.
were just depressed, right? So it was like,
I just thought that I was not okay, and like at that point, I did not even understand what was going on. My mind was like all over the place. And I was like, okay, I'll go to a therapist, I'll talk to her, and like we'll
I'm gonna
figure
be
out things
fine.
together. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's gonna end there.
yeah,
But like my therapist was really concerned, and with therapy we went back to like since childhood till like then,
yes.
and like what my life is like. And then after 12 sessions, she was like, do you have like, can you afford a psychiatrist? And I was like, I cannot. And like, why? She said, I need like the opinion of a psychiatrist. And she sent me to like a psychiatrist in public health institution, and I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder my first session, literally. She said it's
Oh,
really obvious. Yeah, she said it's really obvious. The signs are all there. And when I called my therapist after like the appointment with the psychiatrist, she was like, "Yeah, that's what I doubted, and now like it's confirmed."
yeah.
It wasn't easy for me.
To handle it.
First of all, back then I did not even know what is bipolar disorder. For me, when I hear that someone is bipolar, it seems it's someone who's two-faced, who is like
Mm.
the stereotype
Yeah,
thing
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
mental illnesses.
Yeah,
Someone schizophrenic or bipolar is
exactly.
always for people, yeah,
Yeah,
two-faced people. I did not know what bipolar disorder is, and like she said, you're bipolar, it is chronic, and the meds are a must. Like you can't heal, you need to take a pill for the rest of your life.
yeah.
And that wasn't easy for me, to be honest. That wasn't easy to accept at all.
I'm sure. Yeah, I had a friend who struggles with the same mental health problem, and when we used to call every day, I used to see all the changes. Like you have said, sometimes she's extremely happy, proud of herself and all of that, and some days she just don't want to respond, she doesn't want to talk, she's always crying and all of that. And this is when I have seen someone who's bipolar, because I didn't know also about the sickness before, but I've seen this with her at first. And then I started researching about it and stuff like that. So I totally understand your fear at first when you told me. I didn't know what to do, I didn't accept it. I think the hardest thing about this sickness is to accept it, to accept the fact that you need to live with it for the rest of your life. I guess that's
Yeah,
it, because that's what my friend has been saying to me.
exactly.
Um, yeah, since a long time ago, she was like, what makes me so upset is knowing that I won't heal ever, and I will be always like this. So
Exactly.
yeah, yeah,
I
and
came
that
to
really
the
touched me.
point I came to the point that I literally wished I had any other mental illness
Yeah,
but this.
yeah, she felt the same too. But the thing is, I was so surprised knowing that despite her sickness, she's extremely successful. And I didn't know how this happens, but she's
It
extremely,
is a thing with
yeah,
bipolar people. It is a thing.
yeah,
It is called like the sickness of genius.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
When I made my researches, I found this, and I found that these kind of people are so skilled, like they have a lot of skills, which is true because in your case, you said you're writing, you're singing, you're doing your stuff. Even my friend had her own habits and hobbies that I really liked, and I felt like she's so skilled. So at least that's the bright side of the story. It's like
yeah,
you always have that chance of being successful, of doing what you like, despite everything. And that what made me really admire her as a person, because she's extremely successful, like in her career, in her studies. She's not even living in Tunisia, so she's being so independent alone. Even when she gets sick, she's alone, and this kind of makes me hate the fact that she's alone, but at the same time, when I see her so strong, despite her loss and depression and all of that, I'm like, whoa, like this person is the strongest person I've ever seen. So that's why, like, hats off for you
Yeah,
all, because this is not
thank
easy.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like about her living alone and being independent, I don't know if it's me or it's like every bipolar ever, but I prefer being independent and living alone,
Yeah.
especially when I'm going through hard times. Cause like I used to live like alone,
Okay.
and now I'm back to my parents' house. And to be honest, being alone when you're going through like hard times is better, because what makes it worse is that people do not understand what's going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And like even if you give them a reason, they don't see that a reason for the thing to happen to you. Like they don't understand that a really stupid thing can make me go through a really bad time.
Yep. Yeah.
And that makes it even worse for me to have questions. What's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? Come sit with us. uh, what's wrong?
Especially
Why did
that pressure,
you're
yes.
mad? Yeah, so like I prefer to just cry and like bang my head against the wall as
Yeah.
I'm living alone, than to have that like those questions and like those things said to me daily.
Yeah. She used to say the same, yeah. She was so happy living alone, and that's what she said. I don't want people to push harder. Even when I wanted to help her, she was like, please, Noor, in my downs, just don't try, because this is not me wanting to push you, but this is my mood swings that I cannot control. So I used to understand her, and I used to leave her alone. And whenever she feels better, she texts back, and I know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of hard. I'm sure it's kind of hard. So this is how you feel most of the time. Like, the next question was like, how do you feel most of the time? What are the phases you go through? But you already, I guess, answered this question.
For me, just a little like small information. Bipolar people are divided into two categories, like not the bipolar 1, bipolar 2 thing, but there are people with manic tendency and people with depressive tendency.
Oh, okay.
uh, and I am a person with a manic tendency, so I have more manic episodes than depressive episodes.
Okay. And
Yeah.
I just had a question in mind. When you have
Yeah.
these periods when you're always happy, as you have said,
Yeah.
and you're always positive and things like that,
Yeah.
don't you feel like it's a good thing somehow?
um this is a really great question. Okay, I mean, this is a really good question, and there is a side of mania that no one talks about. uh Mania is not just being happy, being euphoric, being confident. That is one side. The other side is the manic anger, like being so sensitive. Like a
Oh,
person
okay.
can literally say one word and you would go into a real bad episode of anger. You would get violent, you would harm yourself, you would even have suicidal thoughts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, and there are many like people who attempt doing during their manic episodes, because like you just get so much like anger that you impulsively do like really stupid things. And that is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what I hate about manic like phases. I don't mind being confident, I don't mind being productive,
Yeah.
I don't mind being happy. That's great, but like with all of that comes the manic anger. And also something else, you really think that everyone is like making, like, I don't know, planning bad things for you.
Mm,
You think that
mm.
everyone is looking at you in a certain way,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
that people
Got it.
hate you, that people want to harm you, people want to kill you even. So like when you get this and the manic anger in the package, you would rather not get it, to be honest.
Yeah, 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 it's true. Yeah, I didn't know about that. I kind of knew about the suicidal thoughts and harming yourself because I told you I've seen this before. But the fact, the others, I didn't know about it. I didn't know also about the anger and like. So, do you actually usually harm yourself or harm people?
I usually hit myself.
Okay.
during manic anger
So it's
episodes.
yourself.
Yeah, and I like I do that to myself just to prevent myself from doing it to people who make me
Mm,
angry.
yeah, yeah,
I don't want to get it like, I mean, if I'm hitting anyway, I'd rather hit myself
yeah,
than
yeah,
hit
yeah,
people and like make it even worse.
yeah,
So like usually it's on me and not on people around.
yeah. That's kind of tough actually to think about it.
Yeah.
Live alone, like living it. Wow, that's a real struggle, like a daily struggle, not even a struggle. It's a daily struggle.
Yes.
So, oh my god. Okay, so I don't know if this is kind of a stereotype or not, but a lot of people say that dealing with bipolar people is not easy. So, do you agree with this? And do you think that even for you, it's hard to deal with people due to the emotional changes you feel all the time?
It is true. 100% true. It
So,
is
it's the
really
fact that it's hard to deal with
exhausting.
you or you dealing with
Yeah,
people?
it's hard to deal with me.
Okay.
It's really exhausting to deal with me, and I'm fully aware of this. Like, and I cannot control it.
Yeah,
Like, I
of course.
can't do anything about it, but I'm so aware that it's not easy at all to deal with me.
Yeah.
Um, it like me myself, I struggle to deal with my mood changes, with the emotional changes. Let alone a person who's not me. Like, of course, they would struggle.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and like even my relationships and my friendships are not stable because like one day I love the person to death, the other day I just
Yeah.
don't want to do anything with them
Yeah.
anymore. So I
Yeah.
understand that people are just, some of them cannot handle me, some of them are terrified to deal with me in the very first place because they know the history.
Yeah. They know that you cannot commit, let's say, to something
Yeah.
while it's not even like you're not controlling it. That's something that's controlling
Yes.
you, but still
And
they
I'm
prefer not.
trying so hard to work on that, to work on my commitment issues. Because, like, out of the illness and the phases, I'm really a person who wants commitments, who loves stability.
Yeah,
Uh,
everyone
but
does.
yeah, but like the bipolar sometimes makes me like drop that commitment, and then I really regret it so badly.
Yeah.
So now that I'm more familiar with my illness and I really understand it more than I did at first, when I have the thoughts, I'm like, no, don't do this. It's just your bipolar brain saying this. You'll regret it later. And I'm working on that to prevent those ideas to take over me.
And do you think it works? It's working?
It is working for now.
Okay, that's
Uh,
great.
it is working for now, but like it's not easy to like stand and fight your own
Yeah,
thoughts.
it's a war.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
actually a
war
war
every
for
day.
normal people, live alone bipolar people.
Yeah,
So I totally understand. I myself cannot sometimes control my anger, my emotions, my everything. So live alone someone who cannot control it more.
yeah. But I'm trying to work on it. I think it's worth it, to be honest. Stand and fight your thoughts just to keep some people around,
Yeah,
or
especially those who
like
are
to
worth
keep
it.
yourself. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so now I want to ask you kind of a conclusion. Like, how do you deal with your ups and downs? How is life for you? Like, how is life for you after being diagnosed?
I think the fact that I'm on medication makes things easier for me. Even though I really hate taking medications, to be honest.
Yeah,
They have bad side effects, and I really hate that. But I decided to stop the meds before, and it ended up really, really bad. So now I'm obliged to take meds. Like, I
yeah,
know I should. I know I should. I know that taking the meds makes it easier for me, but it still sometimes gets really overwhelming, and I just wish I could like stop time and take rest. It's really tiring. And I know that I'm dealing with it now better than I dealt with it like 1 year or 2 years ago. But still, I'm not really a pro at that. I still
Yeah.
get really exhausted, and I still wish all of this could like stop.
Yeah.
It's really exhausting.
Um, I'm so sad really to hear about that. Even though I know, like, life is not easy at all for everyone. Like, live alone if you have such a sickness, it's gonna feel like a double, a double
Double
exhaustion.
struggle.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I really wish you the best from the bottom of my heart, because I know going, it's not going to be that easy. And I told you that I had a friend of mine. I already felt exhausted in her shoe, leave alone what she was feeling and what she was dealing with.
yeah.
So, yeah, that must be something that's hard. But I hope that it gets better by the time and you get used to it. Well,
Hopefully.
it's not like getting really used to it, but trying to live with it because you have no other option.
Yeah,
And I'm happy at least that you're taking your medicines, because some people don't do that and it gets even worse, way worse for them. Even,
exactly.
yeah, even if they have side effects, and I know about that, and I know what the side effects are, but I always rather to have something control my moods over the side effects that I'm going to have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
so it will be kind of easier to deal with life, with the daily life.
exactly.
But yeah. So what do you want to say to people like you?
You're not alone, first of all. I mean, we're not a majority for sure, but like, you're not alone. Um,
Even though I'm
no
feeling it's
matter,
getting common, the fact that you said we're
it
not the
is,
majority, I guess it's getting way
it's
common.
getting, it's getting way common. Like, my
Yes,
doctor said that it's like, it's the sickness of like this generation.
exactly.
Yeah, but like, you're not alone, and like, no matter how bad it gets, remember that like, it's not the end of the world, and like, you rise up again. Like, I was hospitalized last summer. I never thought I would be ever hospitalized in a mental institution, but I was. But now looking back at it, I'm really thankful I was. It really helped me. So like, no matter what happens during the healing process, just know that it's happening for a reason, and do not give up. As I said, you can be down for like months, years, you can be up for months, but like, just know at the end, with the right lifestyle, the right circle of people around you, and especially the right meds and dose, you will end up like stable-ish, if not stable.
Yeah, there is always the chance of trying to control what you can control and try to live and accept what you cannot control. So this is
Exactly.
kind of the things, like, sometimes when I think about it, I say like I don't want to say normal people because I don't believe in normal people, if
Yeah.
if it's a thing, because I feel like most of people are not normal, and I don't think there's a definition for normal. But yeah, whatever, like people who are mentally sane, even though there is, I guess no one is mentally sane these days.
I guess.
But still, if we people who are trying to control what we can control, and sometimes it gets really messy and we cannot, I feel it goes the same with emotions. You try to control what you can, and you live up with what you cannot deal with. So it's kind of the same for you. And this is kind of a common point, I feel like, between bipolar people and other people, is that we're both trying to struggle with our emotions and our mood swings and our depression and all of these.
Mhm.
It is just maybe it's chronic for some and not for others. I think we're all struggling. So it doesn't mean if you're bipolar or not, because we're all struggling with mental health, no matter what is it. So I feel like
Yes.
bipolar people shouldn't feel any different from others because, like, a lot of them feel different than others. But I don't think
Yes.
that's the case. And even for people who cannot deal with bipolar people, as we have said earlier, I think we're also, as again, kind of a normal people. We're not normal people, but yeah, it's hard to deal with us too. Because when we're depressed, it's hard to deal with us. When we're not okay, it's hard to deal with us. So I guess
Yeah.
there is no excuse of ignoring or pushing away bipolar people while we have that amount of bipolarity in us, even if it's 0.001 or whatever. We have some severe moments of crying, of shouting, of hurting ourselves, of I think that's the case of for most people, and I include myself in this category as well. So I think we should all consider bipolar people as our friends, as our family, as even ourselves. And I've always hated people I heard in college once or twice, some boys who were talking about a bipolar girl that I used to know. And they were like mocking and telling exactly like you have said, it's like schizophrenia. She has two face, you cannot deal with her, and all of that. While I was like,
Mhm.
you guys cannot even deal with normal people like you. So, leave alone dealing with people who have like a high rate of emotions or low emotions. Of course, you cannot deal with them because you don't know them. Like, you don't know how to deal with your own emotions. You're denying your emotions. But if you were like human enough, you will understand that we all go through it. They just have it tough. So, it's tougher for you.
Yeah.
Maybe for other people,
Exactly.
it's not as tough, but for you, it's way tougher. So live alone, feeling what you are feeling in a normal way, into 10 times harder or 20 times harder. You cannot even imagine it. So I think
Yeah.
that these kind of people do not know how hard having a mental illness is. So that's why they cannot deal with you. But I don't see
Yeah.
any excuse for any other person who is smart enough, who's well knowledge enough to know that this is kind of a normal thing that we all go through it, but you only have it tougher. So for me, you should help that person way more than when you help someone else who just have depression or an anxiety or any other like less emotions than you actually feel. This has been
Mm-hmm.
always my image about people who do not help others who are bipolar or who push them away. And I just a fun fact, I hated so much when my friend that I told you about, um, I lost her contact, but when I tried to contact her sister and she didn't give me her contact, I felt so angry and so disappointed because I wanted to talk to her again. And the fact that she didn't want to apparently give her sister the allowance to give me her contact again, like her number, her phone number, I was so disappointed. But then I was like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I don't know, maybe
She's
she's
going
just
through
going through a
something.
lot, exactly, and
Yeah.
she just don't want to talk again, or she doesn't want to reach me back. But I always remember her because I love her so much, because she helped me a lot, and I tried to help her too, even through distance, but still we did. And we had like conversations of 12 hours and 14 hours on the phone nonstop, and I really love her so much that I felt so hurt. But then I was like, okay, just understand that she just doesn't want to. And maybe if ever she wants to reach you, she knows how. So maybe she will, maybe she won't. I don't know. But still,
Yeah.
I give her excuses because I know I've seen enough that I was like, Noor, she just deals with a lot, so it's okay, you know. So that's the difference between someone who knows about this mental health and who has seen someone dealing with it, rather than whoever just heard some rumors or um, badly searched on Google about it and they
Yeah.
didn't get it. So that's why I wanted to have you here today to talk more about it so that whoever has any stereotypes or who doesn't wants or know how to deal with their friends or maybe family or even themselves, they now have a little idea about it.
Something really important,
Yes?
that bipolar people are all different. So like the way to deal with me is not the way to deal with like another person.
Yes, for sure.
You just have to be like direct, to be honest, to be genuine, and to ask the person actually, how can I help? When you're down, would you rather like that I be with you, or do you want alone time? When you're high, do you want me to be with you? Do you want alone time?
Yep.
Like, if you have someone either bipolar or like with any mental illness ever, ask them, learn to know about their needs, how they operate, what do they prefer, so that you can like deal with them
Yeah.
in a certain way, and that will be easier for you and for them.
Yeah. Totally. It's true. I'm really happy to have you here today. It was like the last question I had in my list. But why not if I have any other question or if anyone asked me anything, I could invite you back to answer those new questions. Um,
Yeah, sure.
I also want to wish you once again best of luck for everything you're doing,
Thank
and I
you.
hope you achieve it. It was a pleasure to have you here, really, and to talk to you. So you've been like listening to my podcast, now you're gonna listen to yourself. So I guess it's a good
Yeah.
thing. And
uh,
yes,
Thank you for having me.
no worries.
Uh, I wish you the best of luck to. I wish you the best of luck with your career, with your studies, but also with your mental health.
Yeah, especially that.
Yeah, I really know.
Yeah, it's hard to deal with day by day, but yeah,
Exactly.
and the fact that just a little info for people, like some people used to ask me a lot, why don't you commit to something? That was something that we've talked about earlier, commitment. So I go back to podcasting and then I stop and then I go back to my Instagram, Autumn Girl, to write some content and then I stop. And this has been going on for 4 years or more. But this is one
Yeah.
of the reasons why I do not commit, because whenever I don't feel like it, I just don't, which is a bad thing,
I
but
think
sometimes
that's
it's a good
it's
thing.
not a bad thing. It's
Yeah.
not a bad thing because first of all, at least you're doing something about it. Your sister here is not doing
Yeah.
anything. Like every time I'm about to commit to something, I don't even start it because I know I'll stop doing it. Like I stopped trying in the
Mm.
very first place. So
Yeah.
like at least you're trying. And
Exactly.
second, when it comes to anything that's art related, like even writing, and like all this kind of stuff, you either like are in the mood to do it or
Yeah.
you'd rather not do it,
Exactly.
and that's totally normal. Like
Yeah.
if you don't want it, you don't do it. And like we don't all go like through the same uh way to like of progress. So like you are making progress, it's just in a different pace than others, and that's still okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna just answer people on this episode, that it's been a struggle for me to do this because, as you have said, when it comes to something artistic, it's not like you always have the mood for it. And when it comes to podcasting, it's the same. Whenever I go through my depression phases, I don't even leave my bed. So, how would you even imagine me just opening my laptop, trying to find the subject, trying to find the energy to talk? It's not really. it's not really something that you can do. And even when I open my laptop like today and I record something, whether it's alone or with a guest like you today, I just want to tell people that it doesn't mean if I'm doing this again that I'm feeling better. But I do it just because for the sake of doing it, because I love doing it. So I'm imposing myself to do something that I love. Even if I don't have the energy for it or the mood for it, I still do it.
Yeah.
So that's something to really appreciate and cherish from your content creators, because we don't always have the energy all the time. And even sometimes when we don't have it, we still do it, like this specific
I,
day. So, yeah,
I know.
yeah. And that's why I really, really appreciate you being here. Because at
Thank
first, when I
you.
asked you to come, I was like, maybe she's not in the mood for it. Maybe she's not going through the best phases of her life. That's why I wasn't sure that you'll be here, but I really wanted you to be here. So I'm happy that you're here. And that's why I'm thanking you over and over again, because
Thank you.
it wasn't, it's hard for me to be here, despite my mental health, leave alone you. So that's why I want to thank you for being here. And yeah,
Thank you so much. I'm
welcome.
here whenever you need me, and I'm here like if anyone heard this episode and they felt like they need help, they need to ask more questions. I'm also here.
I will leave the link of your Instagram if you would like
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do
sure,
that in the
sure. Yeah,
yeah, in the description box, so that if anyone wants to contact her, you have her contact. You can just click into the link and um, private message her maybe. If ever you want me to share any of your also social medias links, I will do that as well. And we are waiting for your book, so I'm going to invite
thank
you
you.
back once you finish it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome. Then I wish you a great day, and
Thank
we'll see
you.
you soon, hopefully.
Thank you. Thank you.